Check this.
Hello, this is Socially Triggered, and this video is going to be about the new religion. And first, before I get into what the new religion is, I want to explain what past religions were based on. If you look at the way early religions formed, they would usually do the following. They would say, well, how did the sun get there? Why does it travel across the sky? Why are the mountains there? Or why is there big fluffy things we call clouds in the sky? Well, they would try to come up with an explanation. And what you would do is you would say, well, the big fiery thing that goes across the sky, well, that is the sun god. That is the sun. And a lot of early gods were based on that. The point is, religion is based on explanations for things that people didn't understand. Quick explanations. So if you didn't understand something, well, a god did that. It's kind of one of those things that they do when they, rather than trying to rationalize and understand a complex thing, well, it's much easier just to say, well, God did that, or a god did that. So the newest religion, and this is a very powerful religion, it's probably one of the biggest religions out there that doesn't really have a name, but it's this whole cultural Marxist religion, and I like to call it the ism religion. And the way the ism religion works is, let's say if you have a disparity between men and women in the workplace, where there's men earn more than women on average. Well, we call that sexism, because we don't want to explain it through just looking at the facts, well, that men generally will work longer hours or choose occupations that make more money. They won't look at that. They'll just explain it with this new religion through saying it's an ism. It's a sexism that's causing the problem. You look at higher incarceration rates of black people. Well, you say, well, it's not that black people are committing more crimes. No. That can't be possibly the reason. It has to be racism. So this ism god is very powerful. It can explain away reality with a new god that can basically explain away all this stuff. So it's a very important thing that we try to become atheists of this new religion, where we don't believe it because it's a false god. So one of the things that we have to look for is whenever something is explained by sexism, racism, homophobia is another type of god, we have to sort of question it and say, well, is this just a god explanation for what's happening? Or is it truly sexism, or is it truly whatever it is, like some ism? Is it that, or is it just a new religion trying to explain something that they don't understand? Let's try to understand things. Let's give up on these old religions and new religions, and let's try to understand the world around us. And I think we'll live better lives if we do understand the things that are happening, rather than just trying to use some God explanation of what's happening. So when we see different outcomes in the workplace where men and women aren't equally represented, or different races aren't equally represented, well, we don't call it racism or sexism. We look at it and say, well, why is this happening? Why is this going on? The only way to counter this new religion of ism is to be rational, to look at the facts, to break it down and say, hey, there is an explanation here. And it's not that this ism is the reason for it. The reason the sun goes across the sky is it's due to physics, that our Earth is going around the sun, and we see the perspective that it looks like the sun's moving when in fact we're the ones doing the movement. Well, that kind of rationale, to understand that, we take away that God's power. No longer is there a sun god. It's just a big ball of gas in space. We understand that because we've broken it down. We've understood it. We have to do the same with this new religion, that it's trying to explain away things that have better explanations. And that's the point. We've got to find better explanations. Because if we try to make everything an ism as the explanation, we're failing to really understand what the problems are and what the solutions for those problems are. And there might not even be a problem. And that's the funny thing. One of these things when you believe in some false god like ism is that you don't actually solve anything. You're just worshiping something that has no value. You're not really trying to understand why the world works the way it does or why things happen the way they do. You're just explaining things in a very bad way. My point in all of this is stop believing in the God of ism and start believing in the God of reality. This has been Socially Triggered. I'd like to hear your opinion on this. What other isms out there that I should have mentioned in this video? What is your thought? Is ism a true God? And should I start worshiping him or her or it or Z, whatever it might go under nowadays? So give me your feedback. I'd love to hear it. Thank you. Bye.